Siapa? Adelina. Masuk. Nah, semua bootcamp tu. Okay. Alright. Semua dah okay? Semua dah ada soalan mau ditanya? Kelar? Alright, we'll be starting very soon. So before that, I would like to welcome everyone today to our Media and Information Literacy in Sarawak, our panel discussion. Give a round of applause. Okay, before that, I would like to introduce you to our panel today. Okay, so we'll be moderated by Miss Cindy. She will introduce herself more later. Okay, I'll introduce who they are. Okay, then we have Miss Zafirah. Okay, and also Haji Syahrul. Right, so they will be discussing how can media literacy help communities in Sarawak. So if you guys have any question or maybe opinion, suggestion you want to discuss later on, you can write it down now. And we will be having an open floor and open Q&A session later on. But before that, we would like to invite all our panelists to come down and join us. And yeah, let's give them a round of applause. So for your information, this is also on live stream at our Media Edu for All channel. And if you guys want to share, we will share the link in our Instagram club. You guys want to share it around with your friends who are not here today, you are welcome to do so. Right? Okay, so I pass the floor to Miss Cindy. Right? Give them a round of applause. Another round of applause. Wait. This mic, then this mic. Share. Because we will live stream.
All right, thank you. Firstly, a heartfelt thank you for our wonderful MC, Rex, for that warm and engaging introduction. So, your words have set the stage beautifully for our important discussion on media literacy in Sarawak today. So I would like to also express my gratitude to the organizer of this event, Identifake Roadshow Academy, and also Media Education for All. So it's an honor to be a part of this insightful and conversation that can contribute to the promotion of media and information literacy in Sarawak. So thank you for this opportunity. So good morning, everyone. Okay, can I hear good morning from you all? Good morning. Okay, so I hope you guys had your breakfast and we can start our panel discussion today in a very good mood. Okay, so I hope everyone can pay attention and you guys will learn and gain a lot of information, and you can share this to your friends in school or and anywhere that you go after. Okay, so today we'll be exploring how media and information initiatives can empower communities in Sarawak. So enabling them to assert their control over their narratives and counter disinformation effectively. So firstly, I would like to introduce our panel experts today. We have two panelists, so I'm going to start to introduce them. Our panelist beside me here is our lovely Miss Zafirah Rahman. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Research Sdn. Can we have a round of applause for Miss Zafirah? Okay, so lovely spirit. Okay. So over there is Technologies Tuan Haji Syahrul Nizam bin Junaini, a professional technologist from UNIMAS. He is also a senior lecturer at the Fakulti of Computer Science and Information Technology, UNIMAS. Okay, so a bit of introduction for Zafirah. She holds an accounting degree from University of Technology. She has 8 years of experience in education industry, mainly in whole school transformation programs. She is currently the CEO of OB Research, a Sarawak-based company focuses on research, training, branding, and communication. Meanwhile, for Tuan Haji, he is a professional technologist. He holds a Master Science in Electronic Imaging and Media Communications from the University of Bradford, UK. So previously, he was the Deputy Director, Learning Technology at the Center for Applied Science for Applied Learning and Multimedia, University of Malaysia, Sarawak. He is also a recipient of the Teaching Award, Applied Science, at the prestigious National Academy Award, AAN 2017. He also received Anugerah Ma'al Hijrah, Negeri Sarawak 2018, Research and Development. Yeah, okay. So a big round of applause for the two experts. These are very experts in media and information literacy, our best speakers for today. Okay, so they are all deeply involved in media and information literacy initiatives and are passionate about fostering inclusive narratives in Sarawak. Okay, so I'd like to pass the first question to Tuan Haji Syahrul. Okay, so I'd like to start with Tuan Haji. Could you share your insights on how media and information initiatives can strategically empower communities in Sarawak?
Thank you, Cindy. She's from Miri. I studied in Miri, although I'm from Kuching, Sarawak. Any guess my boarding school, my previous school in Miri? Anyone? Sekolah menengah? Another rival of Tengku Haji Bujang. We always fight for hockey and football. It's Sains Miri, Sekolah Menengah Sains Miri. Any of you here went to Sains Miri before? No. All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Don't repair your TV. This is not ceramah agama atau forum al-hijrah. This is about media literacy. Right. The first week I arrived at the UK, I asked, do you want to listen to that story? Very interesting story. I invited a technician to my house to fix my telephone line. And I studied at Bradford. Bradford is in Yorkshire. Yorkshire is, their slang is a bit slightly different compared to London and of course other areas in the UK. So once he completed his work fixing my telephone line and he wanted something from me and he asked me, do you have a bane? I repeat, do you have a bane? Now tell me what he wanted from me. Do you have a bane? No, bane. What's that? Bank? No. Bank? No, I don't have a bank. I have a bank account. Then I just simply guess. Red flag number one for media literacy is that please don't presume, please don't predict incorrectly, predict based on data. So I predicted that he wanted a cup of water perhaps. So I brought him a cup of water. In the UK, in Bradford, we don't call it water, we call it water. So I brought him a bottle of water, a bottle of water. Then he shouted to me, I wanted a bin. It's dustbin. So that's my first week story. Boleh ke sini I lengthen there.
It's okay.
This is just the intro. You'll be with me for the next 30 hours or so. Okay. So lesson learned, misinformation because of number one, different culture. My first time to the UK. Arrive at the UK, studying at the UK. Number two, difference of the slang. Here we call this a bottle of water. W-A-T-E-R, water. But in Bradford, Yorkshire area, they call it water. A cup of, a bottle of, say quickly. Right, okay. Dah, saya tak jawab soalan dah. Okay, so lesson learned number 1, combat misinformation by I should, before I arrive in the UK, in London, in Bradford, in Manchester, or wherever it may be, I should learn. So you have to learn before you update your Facebook status, for example. Are you on Facebook? No. Yeah. Are you on Twitter? Twitter, not Twitter. Twitter. No, X, the new name. So you study first, Google, and you are lazy enough like me. I don't Google now. I only chat GPT now. So if you listen whatever I'm going to tell you, based on ChatGPT style, so that's from ChatGPT. Example, this is a message from my ex-girlfriend. Now she is my wife. Boleh kami ambil tabung haji kita 100. Okay, isi minyak and belanja. I'm from Kabong, so we don't pronounce it belanja. We call it belanja. This is my answer. This is not from ChatGPT. This is my answer to my from okay.
Okay.
Media and information literacy initiatives involves us to tailor the programs to the specific needs and address the context within the state. So, for example, we have to foster cultural sensitivities and encouraging more localized content. Okay, we need ourselves as ataupun the students here, you need to develop MIL initiatives that are culturally sensitive, and reflect the local context of the state. We have to use content that resonates with the diverse ethnic groups and communities within Sarawak. So the content has to be responsible, respectful, and considerate of the different cultural backgrounds and beliefs within the state. Okay, we have to make sure that the initiatives must avoid any stereotypes, discrimination, or prejudice towards any communities. So, for example, how do we utilize media and information literacy? There's like a lot of misconception between people dekat Semenanjung and also towards the cultures in Sarawak. So maybe you can start creating the contents because you know what is right. Right, I saw. I think there's a few students from College Abdullah, and I know the students from College Abdullah is a boarding school, right? So you come from all over Sarawak. So maybe the people from the northern region, from Miri, you can share. You can share online, or in fact, you can share to your other fellow students. What are the cultures in Miri? Miri, there's a lot of orang Ulu in Miri. So maybe you can share what are your beliefs, what are the norms, the practices there. And then this indirectly is correcting any misrepresentation towards your culture. Other than that is, I would also like to encourage community engagement and participation. We have to encourage community involvement in the design and implementation of the MIL program. So this ensures that the initiatives that are done addresses the concerns and strategies, concerns of the communities in Sarawak. For example, when we are designing a program, we can incorporate the input from the community leaders as the community the content creator media, but sometimes the roles are reversed. Sometimes you are the consumers of the content. So due to the diversity in the state, we can use this cultural misinterpretation as an example when doing the initiative. Um, Other than that, I also think that we need to equip the communities to positively combat misrepresentation or stereotyping ethnic or cultural groups. Because when we have to promote media literacy programs that educate both content creators and also the consumers regarding cultural sensitivity within our state. I think that is all from me on this.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Zafirah, for that very insightful information. All right. Thank you for the claps. Very generous. So please clap some more. All right. Thank you. Okay. So moving on, building on what Ms. Zafirah said earlier. So Tuan Haji. So with this importance of combating misinformation, could you shed some light on the specific challenges that people community face by these diverse voices? Are there any strategies or technologies that have proven effective to combat misinformation?
Right. Thank you very much. Very interesting question. I'm from technology background. Until today, I've never seen any strong, solid technology to combat that. So now back to who we are. We are human being. I'm not a robot. You are not a robot either. So we need to use our capability in thinking. Have you heard about HOT, higher order thinking at school? So, for example, XPM exam, there are higher order level of thinking type of questions. So this type of question is for you to rethink, not only think, but also rethink. Rethink about your function as a student, right? So I know you're from boarding school. Can you record TikTok video in the hostel, or your warden would will stop you from doing that? So this is for the purpose of combating misinformation. For example, that you listen some of your friend uploaded something on the internet, on social media, you smell slightly You have pelatau. Pelatau means he did research, which is he or she, they did research, but that's not the correct research. It's only search. So be careful the difference between research and search. If you want to do proper research, you need to come to Miss Zafirah's company. The name of the company has a title as a word research. If you want to do proper research, come to Unimas. Unimas is a university and we do proper research. Whatever you have done before is search, not research. So while you do your research, while you're doing your research, while you're doing your research, number one, make sure the credibility of the information. For example, give example of any of you here, Iban or Bidayu? Iban, Bidayu? Okay, aku Melayu tapi nemu dia Iban, nemu dengar, dia kau nemu. So maybe misinformation because I'm Malay. I've never been to rural areas or I've never been to Rumah Panjang, although Rumah Panjang is near to Kuching. You need to tell me the correct information, very detailed. Do your search not only on the internet. You may interview tuan rumah, okay, and record his or her video, upload it to the internet. Then you tell your friend this is the correct information about our Iban culture during Gau, for example. Okay, this is your task, your job as an Iban student. You need to educate us Malay in Kuching, for example. Okay. Right. Any of you here have been to my district, Kampung, and you're from Kampung. Okay, so we are from Kampung. Penemu kita. Ezek, Kampung ni. So ingat. Si tahu Kampung ni. Okay, never mind. Yes, very good. Yes. From Saratok. My primary school was in Saratok. SK Abang Rahman Saratok. I was the best student for SK Abang Rahman Saratok. Alhamdulillah, tepukan sikit penat saya dapat best student. Thank you very much. Thank you. But that time, 30 years ago, there was no internet. How I promoted Saratok to the state level at least. There were no internet, there were no social media. The only way is, number one, you need to do the search about Saratok, correct proper search. Number two, the only way is through word of mouth, WOM. Now you also have WOM, which is word of mouse, the click of your mouse, right? Okay, the challenges is, however, maybe in rural areas, the internet is there, 6G, we have 6G, but the connection is even not 3G or 2G. That's number one. So every time I return, I go home to my hometown, to Kabul, I need to drive a bit to Roban or Sabatok to get the better internet connection. So that's challenge number one. So any 5G or 6G company, 7G, please come to Kabul to help us to improve our internet connection. That's the biggest challenge. Number two, here we are in Kuching, but also some of the providers are not that strong enough. I'm using some promote so common. Strong enough inside this building. Some other companies or maybe they need to improve the connection. This is one of the challenges. Number one was about culture. Number two is technology. Number three is about grab this opportunity. Maybe to our teachers, I would like to suggest social media is informal, although it reaches the rest of the world. But maybe your cikgu-cikgu, I would say, that's official printed magazine. You might want to convert it into PDF and distribute it to the rest of the world, and ask your prolific writers here to tell story about their kampung or their education or their school. That's my suggestion. Maybe you want to bring it to your headmasters or pengetua, tell them that besides having printed school magazine, why not we have PDF or maybe even monthly monthly bulletin for our school to misinformation. Number one, about your subject. Number two, about your college, the school. Number three, about Sarawak. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tuan Haji, for providing the valuable insights and information for the students. And also for the students, I would like to remind you, please do not hesitate to share your thoughts as well, your questions, or even your experiences with media information literacy initiatives. So we're here to learn from each other. So do not fret. If you have any questions, just raise your hands and you can stop us and ask any questions in the meantime. Okay, so I'll move on to Ms. Zafirah. Okay, so Ms. Zafirah, how do you see these factors contributing to the promotion of diverse narratives in Sarawak? And what role can partnerships between educational institutions, media organizations, and communities play in fostering a more robust ecosystem for disseminating stories, values, and cultural heritage across Sarawak?
Okay, so I think education and collaborative efforts in Sarawak can significantly contribute to the promotion of diverse narratives by fostering a mutual relationship between the education institutions. For example, we have MIMAS, media organizations, for example, TVS, and the communities. So we, everyone here at large, okay? Integrating cultural education into the curriculum helps students to appreciate and understand the rich diversity of Sarawak communities, and then this ensures that the preservation of these values and cultural heritage among the youth nowadays. The collaborative initiatives between the education institutions and media organizations can also result in projects that empower students to tell their own narratives and engage with the media in meaningful ways. So by bridging this gap between the academia and the media industry, it opens more opportunities for the students. It allows the students to have internships or mentorships programs, providing the students with real-world media experience. Additionally, engaging communities in storytelling initiatives not only ensures a more authentic representation, but also fosters a sense of pride and ownership in the narratives that they share. The collaborative approach contributes to a more robust ecosystem for the dissemination of stories, values, and cultural heritage across Sarawak, which can create to a more dynamic and inclusive media landscape.
Okay, do you want to add some more?
It's like for the way I look at it is in school. So correct me if I'm wrong, but when I was in school, these in Sarawak, but only to a certain extent. And then as we get out of school, we meet, or when we go to universities, we meet more diverse people. We meet the Kenyang, the Murut people, the Kenyang, the Bisaya, and we are curious about it. So I was thinking if we were given this opportunity, maybe informal or during back in school, or we were given more exposure to them. I think the kids nowadays, you are very exposed. You have TikTok, the information is right at your fingertips. I think if you're curious about Bisaya, then instead of going on Google, you'll search on TikTok and then you'll see people talking about them. But during my time, we don't have those information. So it's a good way that though the earlier you are exposed to all of these cultural diverseness, it can limit, it restricts, avoids any misconceptions, stereotypes. And then when you enter the workforce, maybe you will be the boss of TVS one day, you can ensure that the media that that you are creating doesn't stereotype, doesn't discriminate, doesn't create prejudice. And then you are aware that, okay, if you want to get information about this, you go directly to the source. Like Tuan Haji said, do the research, go to UNIMAS, or maybe you can also go to us. But you know that you have to seek accurate information, because there's a lot of sources of information out there, and then it's easy to get strayed away from what is right, what is wrong, what is disinformation, misinformation, what is malinformation.
Okay. You want to add?
Thank you, Ms. Zafirah. Okay, now I would like to move on to Tuan Haji Syahrul. As an expert in education and collaborative efforts, what do you think? How can we integrate media literacy in curriculum in schools or universities in Sarawak? Yes, are there any innovative teaching or tools that you find particularly effective?
Right. The answer is in your question. You asked about education, right? So the answer is education. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming today. You're from schools and we have our teachers here. Number one, education. That's the only way. So for students, please make sure you score straight A's for your SPM. What is your SPM? Next year. Score straight A's, then you may join Unimas if you're interested. We have 1 year sempat promote Unimas. 1 year Asasi or pre-university program. Then if you're interested in computer science, for example, apply to my university, sorry, my faculty of Computer Science and Information System. I teach multimedia technology course, where if you do it, for example, if you create TikTok video, it must be based on proper research. So your viewer would reach 1 million overnight. Overnight 1 million new viewer. Based on proper research, number one. Number two, for the education, for the partnership, for teachers, I would encourage you, write a memo, write a letter to my dean, That you want to visit my faculty, visit Universiti, just to, as an eye-opener, pembuka mata. So all your students would become pandai, bukan memandai-mandai. And at Pustaka Negeri, they have one program called Pandai, P-A-N-D-E-I, Pandai. Have you ever heard about that program? Pandai is about, of course, information literacy in Sarawak by Pustaka Negeri. So you should be pandai. Pandai means, for those from Semenanjung, pandai means pandai. Okay, it's in Sarawak dialect, Sarawak language, or Sarawak Malay language. To become a person of pandai, one who knows, you don't have to know everything. Focus on your areas, or focus number three, through partnership collaboration. Number three is about storytelling. Again, I would focus or encourage you students to do something like, don't speak like me, is official, like a lecture, but go more on storytelling style. I see one or two TikTokers or social media influencers, they use this type of storytelling. Incorporate that, but to promote Sarawak, promote correct information to combat misinformation. Right? Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Tuan Haji. Okay, so I'm gonna ask both of the panelists right now. Okay, so diving deeper into the concept of inclusivity. Okay, so both of you have touched upon the importance of diverse voices. How can media literacy initiatives we can ensure it to be accessible and beneficial to all levels of society, and especially those in remote and underserved areas of Sarawak? Yes. Anyone can start first? Okay.
I need you to repeat the question.
Okay, sure. Okay, so the question is that, okay, so how can we ensure media literacy initiatives are accessible and beneficial to all segments of society, including those in remote or underserved areas?
Okay. Thank you, Cindy. So, in terms of media and information literacy training, I understand that there is a lack of MIL initiatives. I think the focus is mostly in in urban areas compared to rural areas, but the need is there for all all Sarawakians to be exposed to media and information literacy. I was thinking like another way to disseminate about MIL initiatives is we have to acknowledge that not all areas in Sarawak have internet connectivity. So although we want to expose MIL using maybe postings on Instagram or on the websites, but we have to acknowledge that internet is still a challenge. So this is where we can leverage on the traditional media. We can leverage on our Radio Sarawak, or maybe we can go deeper into more narrow scope. So, for example, we can let the resident or maybe the community leaders to expose to the communities what is MIL. Okay, because if you have the MIL skills, you are able to analyze, to assess, to evaluate the information. You are able to see, to distinguish what is wrong, what is right, what is a scam, what is a misinterpretation, what is a misconception, and then you are able to make more informed decisions. For example, if you have very low MIL skills, you might see a posting, for example, saying, this is just an example, okay, this is baju kaum Iban. And then what are the coins at the skirt of the, I think it's called lepap?
I'm not very
Okay, sorry.
but
Who knows what the skirt at the Iban traditional wear is called? The one where they have a lot of coins. Ngepang kah? Is it ngepang? Ngepan? Ngepan. Ngepan. Okay, so for example, someone, you are looking at a video, for example, and then you lived in quite rural areas lah. So internet connectivity is a problem, but you get to see this video when you pergi ke Bantang contohnya. And then this video shows somebody describing the Iban traditional wear, and then they point it wrongly. They cannot, like my problem is now lah, I was just guessing what the name is. And then this information gets disseminated to everyone out there. So if you don't have the MIL skills, you will probably just believe this person 100% because this video might come from a TikTok creator who is not even Iban, okay, and who might have wrong information about the traditional Iban attire. So you might think that it's correct. But if you have MIL skills, you are able to assess, to analyze. So you build your curiosity. Maybe you feel like, let me do some research. Let me go to the local library and read a book about this attire. So you are also educating yourself. Okay. So I was hoping maybe MIL skills, more MIL initiatives are disseminated, not just through online platforms, but we utilize our traditional platforms as well, so it gets a wider reach within Sarawak.
Thank you, Ms. Zafirah. How about Tuan Haji? Do you want to add some more to that? Like, how do we ensure these initiatives are accessible to the remote areas in Sarawak?
Right. Thank you very much. I think the only way is, of course, you're from schools, you don't have that luxury, the budget, for example, to go deeper into interiors of Sarawak. Another solution is that other parts of the Sarawak, other bodies in Sarawak, they have the money, so you should propose your project, or at least you collaborate with them. Tell them that I want to expose more about maybe Melanau culture, for example. Many of you here are Melanau, your parents are Melanau? Yes, okay, so you may approach your parents, but if you want to get a proper, correct resource or a resource person or correct information, your school, I would suggest your school to maybe approach Persatuan Melanau. Even for Malays, we have Yayasan Budaya Melayu Sarawak, or BMS. The big boss was from Mirimas. What else? We have, for Ibans, we have Tunjungan Foundation. They have all the correct information. What you need to do is to create the second content, which is video or write up to magazine, for example, or even for your assignment. So suggest maybe for teachers subject bahasa Melayu, for example, rather than write an essay about kucing, maybe write an essay about kabong. Okay, the beauty of kabong maybe culture. The only way is that they cannot write in the classroom. You have maybe to book one bus to Kampung, have a nice visit to Pantai Tanjung Kembang, get this opportunity to promote my kampung, Pantai Tanjung Kembang. So while while your students are enjoying the nice beauty beach and have a relax, chill out, relax that, but they write their essay for their maybe SPM percobaan bahasa Melayu, just an example. So by this way, they learn through experience, real experience. And the resources are the correct research. They don't search, they do real research. Maybe Rimas, we could have you with not a big budget, maybe 1 or 2 million rupiah or ringgit, inshallah, if I get the budget, the grant from the ministry. Of course, we will involve students, don't worry. Please pray that my proposal for the fundamental research grant will be accepted. Not much, 100K. I can bring you to Kampung to visit my kampung, but all of you need to write an essay about my kampung. Promote kau punya. Okay, right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tuan Haji. Okay, I can see Tuan Haji is very passionate from a team Kampung. You're Kampung. Okay, so all right. So I'm gonna ask the next question to Miss Zafirah. Okay, so I think we're about on time to finish our panel discussion. But a question for Miss Zafirah is on: do you have any success stories where media literacy initiatives have made a tangible impact on communities in Sarawak? And what are the key elements that contributed to the success of the initiatives?
Okay, thank you, Cindy. So I think this my answer will echo to the previous question that you asked. So addressing media literacy initiatives in Sarawak, we have done a workshop, media literacy workshop. It's a physical face-to-face workshop in the rural areas in Sarawak. So instead of utilizing online platforms, we go to them. Of course, there is a funder needed for these kind of initiatives because it requires travel. So when we go there, we were thinking, what are they going to learn today is going to be probably something that bores them. But media literacy is something that is very relatable to students nowadays because everyone has their own phones, right? So you have your own social media, you access the internet every day. And without you even knowing it, to a certain extent, you already have a little bit of media literacy skills within you. You just need to explore further. And then when we expose them to what are the media literacy skills, how do you analyze information, how do you access reliable sources, how do you distinguish between what is right, what is wrong. I'm going to reiterate again, what is misinformation, what is malinformation, what is disinformation, how do you engage positively or negatively with a social media content. So the response was very good because it is what they do in their daily lives, but maybe you just don't know the actual media literacy terms on it. And then after the workshop, from the feedback that we have collected, we saw that they were very pleased about the workshop, and then even the teachers, they were requesting it, like, can you do more of these workshops for our students in the future? So I would also like to iterate that For example, I think the students here, you are very well versed and you are very responsible digital citizen. So you know how to engage with a content. You do not, you do not promote hate speech. You do not promote more negative content when you're responding to other people. So you don't fight fire with fire. And so these are the skills that MIT initiatives are able to teach the students.
Thank you, Ms. Zafirah. Tuan Haji, I'm also curious about Unimas or any of your projects or case studies. Do you have any case study or like a success stories of any media information initiatives that you can share with the students here today?
Thank you. The success is limited to my classroom wall. So that's the one of the biggest obstacle in education. For example, I asked my student to create a video to promote Iban culture, and they got A's for the assignment, and that's it. Done. My mistake is that was 5, 10 years ago. I should ask them to upload it to in the internet, to YouTube, for example. Then the whole world would know more about Iban culture. So thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for the questions. Maybe for next semester or next year, if you got this opportunity to become a student at Unimas, all of my assignments are real world assignment. No theory. Of course, theory is there, but it's a hands-on assignment project. I'll ask you to do something related to the community, for example, Malay community, Iban community, or Bidayah, or whatever it may be, but in a type of video or write-up, assignments, maybe an article, online article, so that the whole world would know better about whatever culture may be in Sarawak. Okay, and your name would appear there as the author of, or creator of that content. Thank you.
Thank you, Tuan Haji. Okay, so now I'd like to open the floor to the audience, high schools and college students here. Okay, so your perspectives and questions are very valuable in this discussion. So feel free to raise your hands and give us any questions because those active students will gain mystery
have you learned about how to write correct citation? Name of the author, year, journal title, journal volume, italic, journal issue in bracket, example, comma, page number. I can't tell you how great GPT is. It can give you perfect citation, but if you double check, it might be wrong or fake citation, fake resources. And in writing, you need to refer to the real correct sources, articles.
Thank you. So our lovely lady got her merchandise. Congratulations. So is there anyone else? We have a lot of mysteries and goodies to give away. As long as you ask questions or you want to share stories. Okay, we have. Introduce your name and school, please.
I'm Halimati Sadia from College Tinggi Haji Abang Haji Abdullah. My question is, how can misinformation make a huge impact on a person? For example, a country blaming an innocent person for something they didn't do.
Could you repeat that question again?
Sure. How can misinformation make a huge impact on a person? For example, a state blaming an innocent person for something that they didn't do.
So the impact is very wide. Nowadays, just by one click, you are sharing a certain information to the whole world. So misinformation, although misinformation is wrong information, but the person sharing it doesn't know that they are sharing wrong information. That is why we MIL, you are able to assess before sharing a certain information, because you know that the impact to that particular party, be it a person, a state, a country, or any community large. So always make sure that the information is right. It's culturally sensitive. It doesn't instigate hate when you are sharing, because just one click, the impact beyond what you imagine.
Thank you for the questions and thank you for the panelists for answering. And I have this front row. You guys are discussing. Do you have any questions? Yes. Okay. So right, so we're handing the mic for you. Oh, sorry, we start with the. Okay, that one first. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
My name is Mia Mehani. I'm from Malaysia. My question is, other students, what are other ways that we can introduce media and information literacy with our friends in the rural areas?
Thank you for the question. How to introduce information literacy to your friends in the rural areas? Number one, give this opportunity for them to study at your college. Tapi result baguslah, baru dapat masuk college Abdullah. Number two, how do you connected? I still remember 30 years ago, I used to platform data, physical data to some parts of the world. And also or my UK or you to visit you have beautiful as per and they have the feeling that to learn, they have 24 hours to learn about
Hello, my name is Zafirah, and I would like to ask you about: do you think the media have too much power in our nowadays? As we know, the media have their own pros.
Sorry, could you repeat the question again?
Do you think the media have too much power in our society nowadays? As we know, the media have their own pros and cons, and I would like to hear your opinion on it.
Okay. So the media right now is powerful. So there are pros and cons, and we'd like to hear the panelists' opinions on this. So we can start with Ms. Zafirah, ladies first.
Yes, I agree that the media it's a very, very powerful tool. Okay, and because of the reach, it, it's it's beyond what we can imagine. So there are a lot of pros and a lot of cons. It depends on how you utilize the media. For example, if you are looking at a certain content or negative content and then spread more. So it depends on what we do with the information that is out there. Okay.
I would like to add that that we have traditional media, mainstream media, TV, newspapers, but another type of media fully utilize it to about our culture, fully utilize it. Although your follower in only one, bukan 1 million, only one, it will grow overnight. Don't sure, not overnight. Sorry, but make sure your content is number one, correct. Number two, interesting. Right, two main factors for you to grow your social media followers. Number one, the quality of the content. Number two, of course, the quantity. You need to continuously upload beautiful, nice videos about to promote Sarawak, for example. Right.
Sabar ya, sabar.
Hi, my name is Aisha Nakra, and I'm from College Dr. Patinggi Abang Haji Bila. So my question is, how can we attract viewers as an older fellow in this generation without media social or radio? And what if they live alone in pedalaman without knowing what's going on in our big city?
Okay, I only heard the older fellow. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
But okay, sorry. Can you repeat your question again?
Okay. How can we attract viewers as an older fellow in this generation without media social or radio? And what if they live alone in pedalaman without knowing what's going on in our big city?
Okay, how do we attract?
So, in the first place, maybe you come from that kampong. So, in order to share about information about media literacy, you can use the opportunity when you are going back to the rural areas during school holidays, during festivities, and then share the information that you have to them because they do not have the access to internet or any of the modern technologies.
For me, use whatever you have. Let's say I'm from one small secondary school in rural areas. You have your great school name, fully utilize your school name. I'm from College Tun Datuk Patinggi, Abang Haji Abdul, correct? So once I type name of your school on YouTube, I will view your video, I'll watch your video. But if you don't don't fully utilize whatever you have, for example, you don't write the name of your school, then I might switch to another video because I'm looking for content creator from boarding schools. As I was from boarding school as well. So that's one point. Number two, you may collaborate again I always continuously encourage you to collaborate. If you are serious enough, I collaborate with Ajar. Have you heard her on JAR? One of the biggest, I think. Ajar, I want to upload a video about Russian music, maybe history of. I'm not sure.
My fellow colleagues, and then we also see that okay, there is a need to share MIL skills to not just us but everyone. So especially to younger generations, because you are the ones who will lead the future. And if you have, if the younger generations now generation good MIL skill, who's going to curate how the media landscape in the future. So we don't want any who likes hate speech, who likes negative things. You know, people calling each other in a very hurtful like. So if you are equipped with these skills, you are able to portray a very positive media landscape. I think that it's a domino effect when this happens.
All right. Okay, we have one lovely girl raised up her hand. Okay. We have a lot. Okay. Silakan more also
You repeat various information on the media platform. I think the first one is do not share that wrong, and then the information is tweaked to be of a certain community. It's a stereotype, it's very biased. So do within your own means is do not
Time. This is time for you to involve orang tua lah. those with authority don't the video proper check proper channel proper remote
Can that